despite being very, very awesome units, they are a little bit weak. They don't have that much health. Mind you, they're not as weak as some other air forces, but they can still be taken down without too much hassle. They're vulnerable compared to how freaking expensive they are. That's what I mean to say. JangBi now, finally, his main and mineral only almost mined out, and he might actually be contemplating a recall here on one location. He has all of his forces clumped up, and look at all those forces of Frozean, all clumped up on the left side. Now, meanwhile, an Arbiter moving in here for JangBi is going to go for the tech. Move in with an Arbiter, does manage a recall just before it dies. Ooh, nice there. Dragoons and Zealots in location. Got to aim for the forces there and the supply. He's going to try to supply block. He's going to massively supply block Frozean here. Moving out with his Arbiter back and forth, trying to prevent EMPs. We're going to see whether he manages a stasis field. Oh, stasis on. One Science Vessel manages to avoid this stasis. But the tanks and Goliaths, however, that don't quite survive. Dragoons and Zealots, however, are being lost. That one Science Vessel almost dies as well. Meanwhile, more Arbiters moving into locations at this point. Some of them losing their lives, attacking these tanks as well as they can. Just JangBi storming and moving his forces down on this tank line, trying to attack this 4 o'clock. For 8 o'clock base, it is 8 o'clock. Storm's going off in stasis fields. Very good play overall by JangBi, doing nice stasis. We're going to see whether he manages any more. But overall, he's now almost cleared this line. Scans going off for Frozean, and he's just not going to be able to defend this base. Meanwhile, now JangBi using this opportunity to take the 3.5 o'clock and has some more bases in the locations that aren't mining, mind you, but soon will be. And now just done a perfect harass. He's probably going to take down that. Definitely going to take down the command center. Frozean forced to move downwards here, and that command center goes out in a big old boom. JangBi's so ahead, just crushing Frozean here. Frozean, I don't really see how many chances he has. Now loses some of his sciences before it can EMP. Getting some of his tank stasis, trying to attack those Arbiters with his Goliaths, but just not doing enough damage. Just mind you, Goliaths do pretty decent amount of damage to Arbiters. Okay, one Arbiter does go down, and to try to attack the second one, but I'm not really sure how effective it's all going to be. JangBi has a lot of force, has a lot of micro going. More Science Vessels being lost by Frozean here. Frozean trying to move in with some tanks and vultures to block as well as he can. Also has a bunch of turrets at this 4 o'clock location, but almost no ground force. Some mines. DTs moving in. Oh, DTs all get taken out by a mine, but almost no force there. Some tanks, they're blocked in siege location, but all in all, not going to be able to do anything. And now Frozean also moving upwards at the left side at the 8 o'clock location, with some vultures and tanks trying to harass as well as clear out any forces and reestablish control there. But overall, I believe JangBi has such a large mass of clump of forces. He has absolute map control. He has his micro kicking in as well as his, well, not really, it's more of his macro kicking in, and overall he's still doing pretty good micro, but using his forces. Frozean at 2-2 upgrades, and I just don't think he can afford to go any higher than that. He might actually be researching tanks being sieged there in location. Also there to try using the Science Vessel to attack those probes from location. So that is a pretty good job. Not going to start sieging that next one to see whether he manages to do that. But I think at this point, Frozean is just too far gone. He just doesn't have enough. He's not going to be able to come back into this game because no matter how much damage he does, JangBi is always going to have more forces. He's going to be able to just resupply his massive force. Dragoons are going to run forward to these forces to their death, mind you, but overall just going to die as well. Some Zealots running there, taking some mines. All those mines were supposed to block, but that's not going to happen. Some turrets that just did manage to come up, also going to get taken down. All those tanks have been cleared at near this 4 o'clock, and now JangBi just barreling down again. Frozean trying to reinforce, adding some vultures, trying to plant some mines, some Goliaths there to counteract those Arbiters. Arbiter actually does go down, but the Frozean still has plenty of force to try to attack. Kills a bunch of those Goliaths. Scans going off, but there are more than enough Dragoons. Stasis going off on 5 tanks. Wonderful stasis there by JangBi. Is what else can you say? Another stasis forthcoming, or maybe not, just Arbiter attacking. Now again barreling down with even more Dragoons. Gonna focus on that Arbiter so he can put his Arbiter, keep his Arbiters in place, and now just a constant reinforcement of forces. As the Speed Zeals running down, has Dragoons running down, he has already upgrades, Weapons 2 and Armor 2 upgrades, which completely equalized the game in that sense. Frozean had at one point in the mid game a weapons and armor advantage, and he just didn't push it. Probably didn't even know they had that, but yeah, that would have been his chance to try to take control of this game. But now JangBi, even moving at the middle only at the 7 o'clock, is going to completely crush that. Just no chance here from Frozean. JangBi has a bunch of bases almost mined out. He has his mains mined out, his naturals pretty much mined out. His mineral only is looking a little bit weak. His 10 o'clock is not looking too good. But overall, he still has a large amount of forces, and he's establishing bases in other locations. Overall, just taking absolute map control. And I don't really know what Frozean's going to do. He's now again reestablished for the upteenth time his 4 o'clock, but it's just not helped him at all. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 4.5 o'clock, whatever. More senses flying around that are being lost. JangBi barreling down from 2 locations with Arbiters. Stasis going off on tanks. Dragoons also moving in. But I managed to do a lot of damage. All of the forces here are going to retreat. Those that don't manage to unsiege in time. 3 weapons now up for JangBi, so he's going to have a huge advantage at this point. We're going to see whether he wants. Not sure if he went for any aerial upgrades alongside those, but I just don't think he's going to be wasting the money for that. Tanks retreating. Goliaths and Vultures retreating to. Just trying to avoid death as long as they can, but JangBi again reinforcing so madly, has his last armor upgrades researching as well, JangBi that is, and Frozean still has some mining at his natural, I believe, but he has only 3 bases mining at this point. He has his natural. I'm not sure. I don't think he has his main anymore. He might have a little bit of his natural. Not a lot, and the 4 o'clock base is again reestablished, but all in all, just such a huge advantage here for Frozean. He's just going to go and storming those SCVs. Those SCVs are all going to die, even more mining going to be killed, and now Dragoons barreling down there. Some siege tanks in location there by Frozean, trying to prevent those forces moving in. More high tempo are going to move in right close to those tanks and going to start storming the crap out of everything. Those are going to move in. GG now finally from Frozean. Wow. JangBi doing an overall great game. Whew, I need a sip here. I need another one. Okay, one more. 3 sips before I can do some post-game analysis for you folks. So just what you expect, JangBi just keeping Frozean at in the back foot just the entire game. Frozean just after the early mid game, he was behind the entire time. JangBi doing very good harassment. Frozean tried to counter with his own vulture harassment, just wasn't ever effective. His drops weren't. He could have gone for drops, but his first dropship got dumped, and that was it. So JangBi is going to indeed move out to the round of 8. I'm going to see who he faces. He's going to see who he faces. There's going to be in Group C of the round of 8. He's going to face one of 2 players. I'm not quite sure what those names are, but we're going to see overall. So GG there by JangBi. Too bad, Frozean, Mr. Cute Angel, but you're out of here. So JangBi moves on to the round of 8 as I keep repeating myself, wrenching out.